Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night, so you already know. We're running a little bit late, but we're going to give it a go. We got to be talking about the Bad Batch. It is episode 8, the reunion, and I'm ready to get into it. I hope everybody out there is enjoying it so far. Oh, man, if you're an old school Star Wars fan, you have to be right out of the gate. Turn this off. So weird how on Tuesday or on Saturday we can go and there's no hitches whatsoever, but as soon as we go on a Tuesday night, instantly it wants to freeze up and go. So yeah, hopefully to have that handled by the next one. I always say that, but I finally have put the gears in motion and be able to knock that out. What's up, Celebrity Bikini? I see you out there. How you doing tonight? I'm just sitting here watching this little antenna just sit on one, and it's got to be freezing on the other one, right? Looks like it's gone, but yeah, I don't know. But we're going to try to mosey through this and get on through it. But yeah, I'm just watching that antenna on one. Like, what are you doing? What do we have to do to make you work? How does it work on Saturday? Like, do they give you extra boost on Saturday? Like, it flows through on Saturdays, no problem. But Tuesday, it's always glitching. What's up with that? But yeah, I hope everybody out there is enjoying the Bad Batch. It's been absolutely amazing. Also, hope everybody out there is staying cool. Man, that heat wave that's hitting the West Coast has finally just hit up here in Washington. Holy shnikes. It was like 89 degrees up here yesterday, which is like 100 anywhere else in the nation. It is crazy. It does not get that warm up in these parts. So yeah, we're trying to get through it, and I hope everybody out there is staying cool and doing what you need to do to get through all these hot and bothered times. Jake, oh man, I know you guys are going through it. I looked down at Vegas the other day. It was like 114, 115. I was like, oh my God. I don't even think I couldn't even make it through that. So yeah, stay cool, stay hydrated. Hopefully everybody is making it through okay. But this week we open up with the Bad Batch. We open up on Camino, and Crosshairs relaying the message that our boys have been spotted. Lama Su said it'd be most beneficial to bring them back alive, and Admiral Tarkin is not having it. He's like, burn them all. It's like, that bastard don't give up. He don't care about nothing. He is a clone hater, and he just wants to kill them all. But Crosshair gets his orders to find and terminate the Bad Batch, and we just know this episode's going to be good right out of the gate. I was excited for this one. And back on the junk planet Braca, the Wrecker's teaching Omega how to disable a thermal explosive. And she says it seems simple enough, so he gives her a trial by fire and arms one's up. And yeah, it didn't go so well. He says, you have 10 seconds to disarm it or we're both goners. And Omega like panics and clips the wrong wire. And Wrecker's like, obviously not that one, run. I thought that was a cool opening scene. That was pretty dope. And Omega runs and tries to hide, and of course she trips and falls on her face, but then she gets behind something only to find Wrecker laughing, saying, you didn't really think I'd let you practice on live explosives. I was like, for a second, I kind of thought he would, so that was pretty cool. Like, I like that one. Because, yeah, at one time I was like, what are you doing, Wrecker? So, yeah, I don't know, I like that whole little opening sequence. I'm absolutely loving the Bad Batch. I think it's just getting better by the episode. I think it's pretty dope. Yeah, it's got it. I mean, basically, it's about 3 degrees from hell out there, isn't it? What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. I mean, 115, how much hotter do you have to be until you get to hell? I know they were busting records out there in Death Valley. It was like 129, and I think it had a chance to get even hotter. I was like, whew, that ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. But Hunter calls the crew back to the Jedi cruiser, and on the way, Echo says, like, we have eyes on us. And finally, we get a little nod to like the skills of this specialized crew, because lately it just seems like they've been making some pretty rookie mistakes. I was like, is this an elite crew or not? Like, how are they even getting into these situations? But they take out 2 of them, and the third one almost gets away. And even with Wrecker hanging on to the getaway vehicle, but luckily Echo's in position and takes the shot that brings him down. And it was pretty funny, like how Wrecker still tries to play the hero role with Omega. He's like, after he gets tossed from the ship, she's like, are you okay? He's like, I had him right where I wanted him. He's like, I was just waiting to make my move. I was like, they're the perfect little tandem. You got to love this crew, little brother and sister situation. And Echo says it's probably time for us to bounce, but Hunter realizes that like Dianoga has kept the scrappers away from this particular ship, and there's a lot of money to be made, like which they desperately need right now. Like, he basically wants to erase that debt with Sid, and I don't know. Do you guys think Hunter's tired of warring? Like, Rex already asked him to come with him, but it seems like Hunter wants something different for his crew. He just doesn't really know what that is yet. But it seems like war is what it isn't. So I don't know. You guys think Hunter's getting tired of the old warring situation? Just wants to find something new? Oh, unless every thermometer I have ever bought is lying, it's always hotter than they say. See, that's nuts. Like, why would they make it sound like it's cooler? I mean, it's a heat wave. Everybody knows it's a heat wave. You can feel when it's 115 degrees outside. Like, what are you hiding? Just be with it. Tell it. Tell it like it is. But they realize the info on these drives might be even more valuable than the weapons, and Hunter sends Tech to turn on the system and retrieve whatever he can, while Wrecker and Omega search for valuable weapons like to resell. And it was funny, like when they came across that major cache behind the metal gate, and Wrecker like tries to manhandle it and rip the gate off the hinges, and Omega just walks over and presses a little button and it opens right up. I was like, teamwork. That was so dope. And we have an interesting exchange between Echo and Hunter right after that. Like, Hunter's like, with all this, Sid will owe us for a change. And Echo's like, if we would have left with Rex, we wouldn't owe Sid at all. But I'm like, that's not true. Like, Sid doesn't exactly seem like the type that's just going to let owed debts go. Like, I think Echo would be up for a rude awakening if he tried to just bounce Owen Sid. I'm like, are you out of your mind? He'd have bounty hunters on you and everything else. Like, I just don't think he realizes the way the real world works. And I get it. He's a soldier. He's like, why not just keep soldiering and go with Rex and keep fighting, which is what they may end up doing. But it just doesn't seem like that's what Hunter wants. And I just think Echo's a fool if he thinks he can just bounce on Sid and not pay her back. Like, dude, that woman knows what's up. Do you not see all those trooper helmets in her office? How do you think she got them, sucker? It's like, don't be pulling that crap. You out your mind. But Hunter tells Echo that Rex is on a different path than us, and Echo replies, we're soldiers. What other path is there? So, again, exactly what Hunter wants to do. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's not war. So Tech calls Omega for some help on the bridge, and when she gets there, she's in total awe of the wreckage seen outside the windows. And she asks Tech, like, what was war like? And he gives her, like, just this bland definition of war, but she asks again, no, but what was it like? And Tech's like, I just told you. So, like, is Tech just totally devoid of any emotions whatsoever? Like, does he really just live in a binary world? I mean, what's up with this cat? Like, he had to know what she was asking. Maybe he doesn't know how to deal with kids and didn't know how to answer it any better than that. But I just thought that was kind of a little weird situation. That was kind of a trip. But Omega asks, like, what's this? And Tech literally says it's a proximity sensor. It signals when there's an approaching vessel. So why would he ignore something that crucial when he just turns the ship back on? You know the potential threat out there. Like, why would you not make sure? And then, I mean, you know you've already been spotted. You know the situation you're in. And you're just going to be like, it's probably just a glitch. I was like, how are you not going to get up and check that? But we've got and then instantly he switches his mind. He's like, we've got company. He's like, is it Scrappers? No, it's the Empire. I'm like, he did not skip a beat from probably a short circuit to the Empire's here. I'm like, does he undercover want to get caught or what? Because I just thought that whole situation was weird. Like the way that went down, it's like, man, is he starting to pull a crosshair, or is he just tired of what he's doing? Is he ready to get back in? And like, he'd rather be on the Empire just fighting, or I don't know. What's Echo's situation? It seems like something's up with that cat. Soldiers need an army, they'll find one. Yeah, but it seems like that's not what Hunter wants, but it does seem like what Echo wants. So yeah, I don't know. Something's definitely going to come to a head in that situation. But Prime Minister Lama Su says he'll have to call upon further assistance, and Lama Se asks, like, is that wise? And they already have someone handling matters. Like, so is it the other bounty hunters of which they speak, or are they on, like, or is there something else in play that they're talking about? Like, are they just talking about the multiple bounty hunters they have going on, or do they have all kinds of pieces of the puzzle going on? And, like, they're playing chess up here while everybody else is playing checkers. So I think something's about to bounce and show us with that. And Crosshair arrives on Braca, and his crew says there's too much atmospheric interference. And Crosshair is like, no. He's like, you're just being jammed. Like, he should have shows right then and there, like, how far and above he actually is above all the other troopers. And that's how our crew should be, too. That's why I don't like him making all those basic and rookie mistakes all the time. But if Crosshair is smart enough to know, like, what tricks our boys are using, then why wasn't Tech smart enough to know that Crosshair would be anticipating their moves? Again, like, they're showing Crosshair being all, like, a bad batcher and being above and beyond, and they're showing our crew just being all basic. I don't get that. I don't see what's going on or why they're making it like that. And Crosshair gives the order to find their ship and secure the perimeter, then says, like, over the comms to push him towards the hangar. And again, I'm like, I'm sitting here saying this has to be a setup. So how is the Bad Batch, or at least Tech, not realize that Crosshair would be listening in and that this is obviously a trap? I don't know. Is that just bad writing, or do they have another plan up? Because like I said, even I was sitting here going, nah, that's a trap. What's up? But Crosshair's plans works, and we get our reunion, and even he comments on how predictable tapping the comms were. And this is the Bad Batch. Like, how do you not see this coming? And our crew is surrounded, and Hunter tries to reason with Crosshair, and even Omega chimes in saying, remember what I told you? But all this does is get Crosshair to now change his directive to basically aiming at Omega instead of the Bad Batch. And I'm like, why did he do that? Are they trying to hint at that this is proof that Omega really is force sensitive? But I'm still sticking to my guns. I don't think she is. But if you were going that way, that is a huge lean in that direction. Why would Crosshair? But then again, Crosshair was in the jail cell with her and didn't do anything when he still had those orders going on. So is that because he knew his crew would stop him and he had no chance? But I don't know. It doesn't seem like that would matter. So I don't understand. I don't understand why he had everybody put his guns on Omega. I think that's the writers trying to hint that, oh, she's force sensitive. That's why he did it. But there would have already been a problem between these two. So I still don't think she's force sensitive. I think it's going to be something else about her. But that's just me. Who knows? Who knows? Said they're arm dealers. They are making sure they're needed. They could. Basically, the chameleons, they don't want to lose that money. They got that profit going. So regardless, they're going to try to figure out how to keep it coming in. So, what is Omega? She's the last and the best. What is her thing? I think she's just, like I say later, I think she's just a little ninja assassin. That's how she knows, what Rex was. Oh, you're a first series. And that's how she knows, oh, you're a bounty hunter later. I think she knows all these people because she's programmed to be able to take them out if her chip, she doesn't get a chip, but whatever flips her script goes. So our crew comes up with a plan to fire the old cannons, which sends the rusty ship into disarray, and the ceiling falls onto some of the troopers, and this is enough for our crew to battle their way out of the trap. And sadly, it's out of the pot and into the fire type situation, literally, as they make their way into the actual engine. And Tech starts to tell kind of an interesting piece of info and about the structure of these engines, and Record's shut up, no one cares. And I was like, wait a minute. Something tells me that they're all going to care by the end of this, because I think that blast perimeter coating that's capable of withstanding whatever Tech was going to say is definitely going to matter by the time they get through this. And Crosshair is waiting for the crew, when they try to leave the engine, saying, I have you surrounded, and Hunter's double back, but then they hear the engines turning on, and Crosshair is basically ready to fry him out. And poor little gullible Omega's Crosshair wouldn't do that, would he? I'm like, oh, girl, you got a lot to learn. It's this man is evil. Made a video about it. Check it out. But the crew has less than 2 minutes to figure out a plan, and Wrecker says, what about Plan 7? And Echo retorts, Plan 7 has nothing to do with this current situation. So what do you fellas think Plan 7 is? What's going on with Plan 7 out there? Anybody have any ideas? I was like, Plan 7? We never heard anything about that. Oh, man. He said, at some point, this show has to tie into A New Hope. Yeah, at the end, basically, that's got to be the end of it, right? But man, have you guys all seen the Clone Wars? Because if you haven't, you are doing yourself a disservice. This is just the greatest callbacks ever coming back over and over. So many sweet cameos from the Clone Wars in here. Absolutely loving it. And this was the pinnacle almost. There's a couple more that could be even bigger, but this was a huge one. So Tech has a plan, and hey, it has to do with the blast perimeter coating, and he was trying to tell him about, but of course they didn't want to listen, but now here it comes into fruition. They're going to blast the cylinder apart and fall away, hopefully to safety. And see, Records, sometimes it's good to shut up and listen. And the crew all hop to it and plant the bombs all around the entire arc, and just as Crosshair gives the order to fire up the engines, the crew ignite the bombs, which work, and releasing the hull, and it sends them breaking away to fall to the ground, and that had to be a hell of a ride. And this results in the flame from the engine to shoot out and basically half fry Crosshair. So when Crosshair gave that order to turn on the engines, he ended up with the worst of it. So is that them kind of showing that anything he does to his brothers is also going to come back to him, and he's also doing to himself? In the end, is he really still a bad batcher? I don't know. I thought that was a cool little tie-in. He tried to do it to them, but it ends up happening to him instead. So the crew falls to safety, but end up on different sides of the ship. They say move back at the Marauder with their ship. And the Empire troops try to like fly in and save Crosshair, but even in his Krispy Kreme state, he's like still all about the mission. Like, they're heading to the ship, stop them. Like, this man just does not give up. And then a trooper calls CT-8508 to see if their ship is still secured, but CT-8508 is not responding. And at first I thought it was because one of our bad batches has taken them out, but nay. Omega and Hunter get back to the Marauder to see that all the troopers had already been dealt with, and it's not the scrapper's handiwork. And then when we hear, it wasn't much work, I was like, oh shit! I was like, that voice couldn't be hot damn. I was like, we get the absolute epic callback from the Clone Wars. I mean, this literally is probably, if not one of two, the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. Welcome back, Cad Bane. I was flipping out at that point. I was totally geeking on that spot. I was like, they did not just bring Cad Bane back into this bad boy. I was like, bring it. Yeah, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. Plan 7 was from an old video game? See, I haven't played those games, so I have no idea. That's crazy. You remember what that plan was, though? Oh, man. Yes, if you're talking about still watching Season 1 of the Clone Wars, it does start a little shaky. They don't really know where they're going or what they are. But, man, I'm telling you, like, Seasons 2 through, 7, amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think they did 2 through 6 and then did, like, a last 7th one just, like, a year or two ago. But, yeah, it gets really good. And then seeing all these callbacks tied in, yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, it is a mission, man. Like, 22 episodes a season. It's rough. Oh, yeah. Can you elaborate? Fastest draw of the West space. I think he's the fastest draw in the galaxy. I don't know. I think maybe he probably isn't. He's probably number 2 behind Boba Fett that we all know and love so dearly. And that was supposed to be like part of the Clone Wars, and it didn't get put in. But there was supposed to be that showdown between Hunter and Cad Bane. I'm guessing I heard was supposed to be between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, same style, same way. And that's how Boba Fett got that dent in his helmet. It was a close draw, but Boba Fett ends up winning. Dude, Cad Bane's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I'm telling you. You don't want any of that smoke. Cad Bane is the man. I was so hyped when I saw him get in there. That was so sweet. Plan 7 was just planting bombs around a door to blow it open. Well, how does that not make? I mean, that ties in perfectly. What was Echo saying that has nothing to do with the current situation? Sounds like that had everything to do with the situation, so that's weird. They're going to have to elaborate on that next episode. But yeah, when I heard that voice, I was so geeked, just instantly knew who it was. I was like, everybody who was watching the series and like had to go back and watch Clone Wars, like, I don't think these cameos are going to be slowing down anytime soon. I think they're just going to keep bringing it. Like, this is just halfway through the season. We've had some dope ones. And like I said, halfway through, we get the Cad Bane. I don't think they're slowing down. They're going to keep giving us cameos from Clone Wars. So yeah, anybody who hasn't watched those, I'd check them out because it makes it so much sweeter. But while Cad is talking, Omega says he's a bounty hunter. And like I said, was she just listening to what he was saying? Like, how did she know that he was a bounty hunter? And like I said, I think she's just a ninja assassin, and she knows exactly what's up with like all different Krees, so she can take them out when need be. But the build-up, like when Hunter stepped forward and Cad Bane says, "That's unfortunate for you," I was like, oh, it's on. And like, dude, that was such an epic, like old style Western setup. Like that was the 6th showdown on Braca. I was so geeked for that. Hunter steps up and does his best, but obviously he's no match for Cad Bane. Hunter's like shot doesn't even come close, but at least he takes out like the booster of his droid. But yeah, Cad's is right on target, and down goes Hunter. I was like, oh, snap. I thought maybe he was dead. Like, oh my God, did they just take out the main cat? No, like Echo's going to be in charge. But Cad just stuns Omega and bounces, and the Empire troops are attending to Crosshair's wounds and say they have the Bad Batch on the run, and Crosshair, like gravely wounded, still like gets up and says, "Get me on that shuttle." Like, he just doesn't seem to have an ounce of quit in him. He's just like a pit bull. Like, when he latches onto something, he does not let go. But now that he's all crispy, like, is the Empire even going to want anything to do with Crosshair? Like, I don't know what's that going to happen. Like, or is the Empire going to, like, use this opportunity to, like, turn Crosshair into, like, a bullseye clone bot? Like, just make him into a true robot killer instrument marksman. I could kind of see that happening. Just more that whole more machine than man line that they keep going back to. They might turn Crosshair into that situation and just make him a straight up assassin. But back over to Hunter, and good news, it looks like he's still alive. And I was loving that first person view, like video game style that they shot that sequence in. That was pretty dope. And the boys pick up Hunter and get him back on the ship, and he seems to be doing pretty well for being just shot in the damn chest plate. But Wrecker says, "Where's Omega?" And Hunter told him, like, they took her and we have to go find her, and fade to black. I was just like, if you're not hyped after this episode, you're just doing it wrong. Because I'm telling you, this episode was legit. I was loving it, man. It was absolutely dope. Was Cad working for Caminos? That's what we don't know. I mean, they make it seem like they're hiring all these bounty hunters, but I absolutely think there's another factor. Like, I mean, I think like maybe I don't know why she would, but Ahsoka could even have like hired somebody to get in on this. And when the Kaminoans were talking, like, we have other stuff in play, were they just talking about having other bounty hunters in play, or do they have a completely other plan going on at the same time? Like, I think it's about to get good. Like I said, those Kaminoans are playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. Typical know-it-all, couldn't give Wrecker any credit. I feel it. Did you know the dent in Boba Fett's helmet was from Cad Shot? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that's where that came from. So that's pretty sick. Droid him up. That's what might be happening to Crosshair. I think they might be making him into just more machine than man tactical killer. I think the Empire will throw Crosshair in the garbage and treat him like nothing now. Now let's say Omega's Camino mother will take Crosshair's chip out to get Omega out of there. Omega's Camino mother, Nala Se, will take Crosshair's chip out to get Omega out of there? What, like, so Crosshair will be the one to get Omega out? I don't know what you mean about take out Crosshair's chip to get Omega out of there. Nala Se seems to like Omega. Oh, that's her mom. Yeah, that's not just a lab scrubber. That's her little baby. She made her and has feelings for her. And I don't think the other dude has any feelings for her. I think that's just, that's his like prodigy, or that's his basically thing that's going to make him money, and that's all he cares about. Like, I don't think he has any feelings towards her. He's just like, hey, that's my specimen that I made that's going to make me money and keep the cash flow coming in. But I think Nala Se actually loves her like a child almost. So I think that's definitely a mother situation. Nala Se's got the love. Absolutely. So you guys all hyped for this next one? Ready to keep it going? I mean, my God, this was, I think, by far the best episode yet. Like, they had me juiced on this one. I thought that was just so sweet. It's like love of the creature. Feel it? Hey, if a girl can fall in love with a fish alien, you know that Nala Se can fall in love with an Omega. Shoot, I fall in love with Omega. That's my little sister. I'm ready to jump through the TV and go find this girl in the galaxy. She's amazing. You gotta love Omega. And that's the thing. I have just this scary pit feeling that this girl, they're going to build us up and have us love her and just absolutely be head over heels over Omega, and then she's going to turn around and kill the Bad Batch. She is going to be the ninja assassin that I'm afraid she is. They're going to flip the script on her, and they're going to be like, look, Empire, you do need us because look what we can do. And they're going to have her switch over, and she's going to kill everybody. And it's going to be like when Wrecker was like in her face and couldn't do anything about it. And she's like, we're friends. You're going to, in basically that type of situation, it's going to be flipped, and it's going to be Omega over Wrecker. And he's going to be like, what are you doing? We're friends. And only this time she's going to go through with it. Absolutely take him out. And I'm going to be devastated. But that's how I see this series ending. And it'll be ruthless. Ruthless. Yeah, after I saw that Crosshair scene on Sal Guerrera's crew, I was like, man, I don't think we're going to be holding back anything on this series. I think they're going to let her fly. It's going to be amazing. You know what Peter Griffin says? Nah, I think the Bad Batch dies and she will become Ashoka's apprentice. That would be cool. That's the happy ending. That's walking off into the sunset. I just don't know if I see it going down like that. Or Rey's mother? Where's Rey's mother even at? We don't know who Rey's mother is, do we? But she'll like present herself and she's going to raise a little Omega. It's like you couldn't raise Rey, but you're going to raise this little clone. How's that work out? She seems to be compassionate. You figure she would want a chip removed. She doesn't have a chip, she says, though. unless they're lying to her. But Omega keeps saying that she doesn't have it yet. Ricker's like, oh, that's not fair. So supposedly there's nothing to take out, but I just think it's like a whole nother gene, like maybe not a chip, but just like in her, like just it's part of her, and they can just flip her whole DNA over and make her act a different way. But I'm not sure. Like I said, they got to release that one, but like I said, that's my guess. I think she's a little ninja assassin. She picks up everything real quick. She's like just a little sponge, soaking up all the knowledge, and yeah, she's going to use that to her benefit to take people out in the end. Rey's mother would be way better than Palpatine's clone. That would be tight. I just don't think she's force sensitive. I don't think there's any Jedi in her. I don't think she has any of that. There's no midichlorians in her system, I don't think. But I could totally be wrong. They definitely gave a huge nod to that this episode, but again, that doesn't match up in the timeline. But that really was wild. Like, why did Crosshair have all his boys like all of a sudden aim at her? I was like, that don't make any sense. So yeah, I'm excited to find out what's going on and where they take it from here. Man, they can't go backwards. Keep 2 steps forward. So let's keep it moving. Excited to see this next one, and you already know I'm excited to watch Loki too. We're going to be back on Loki this Saturday. So I hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week. I want to thank you for stopping in and be back next Saturday because we're going to be getting into it. You guys have a great time. We'll see you soon. Be easy.